really good for what it's worth. But yeah, okay, so basically similar comps here. It's really just the Sova versus the Gecko, right? Your info gathering initiator is going to be the change up. So Sentinel's throwing a little bit of a difference in there. Saucy going back to his Sova, the classic agent he's so well known for, has such impeccable timings on this. So you never know, man. Sentinels look great right now.
No, they really do. And one of the things that my eyes are very much going to, and somebody that we didn't get to really talk about too much, is Lakia. Was not finding that much impact. Was able to put up a couple of assists. His util was there to try to escort players forward or force Sentinels back. But here with this Gecko, I'm looking for big impact from him, not just in the util usage, but also in his rifling, because he has proven on the global stage, proved it there in Shanghai. This guy still can shoot, but we were not seeing it on Lotus.
And this is a map where he generally thrives. He's really good in the mid to late round about using his util well and finding those clutches, finding those high impact moments when Genji needs him the most.
Well, the last time these two teams played, it was Genji with a 2-0 win. Can Sentinels now return the favor to Genji, or will we be forced to go to a map 3? Let's send it back over to your casters for this one. It's, of course, Doug and Baby Bay for the call.
Thank you so much, GB. Dre, I think one thing that stood out as we were listening to Kaplan talk was the immense amount of respect that he showed towards Genji. He didn't want to go towards Ascent. He felt like it was a little bit too strategically deep. He wanted to go towards Icebox instead. I think there's a lot that he's showing there. It's like, hey, we know where you're good. We don't want to hit you there, bro.
And it also showed in the server of how Sen approached that entire map in the beginning, right? All the attack, it was, you know, the slow, methodical approach, not trying to give any kills, and the pistol rounds is what stuck out to me. In a 13-9 win, that's 4 rounds. That's 2 pistols that Sen won.
Yeah.
That's how evenly matched these teams are, that it comes down to who can hit these shots right here.
Icebox very well. It might be a different story.
Wow.
A couple of sheriff shots already traded and kills found. Texture slips all the way back. But John QT is trying to do a bit of the same, not able to settle shots on the last kill as Genji manages to get the spike down, manages to get away. Now it's on Sentinels to attempt to retake this. Have a little bit of util to play around. They have the drone, they have the Viper Wall, and they have a weakened Texture, a weakened Munchkin. John QT is not much better off. Do they have any lineups? Do they have anything like that? No spits, nothing to speak of. John's not able to stick around. The one Malia that they had, Saucy with 2 big ones. Munchkin left alone. Had the knife, drops down, spots 1. Saucy on the defuse, gonna get it to half. Pauses for the fight as Saucy gets 3 and the defuse.
It was blow for blow the entire round, a 3v3, but Saucy just turned up. And those honestly, sheriff shots were so clean.
And honestly, that was a guy we didn't talk about a ton on Lotus. It was relatively quiet. I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about Texture and Munchkin and Zelsis, and for good reason. But this cow was quiet.
Oh my gosh, him and Lakia both.
Yeah.
This roll for roll, these teams are so evenly matched, but it's another pistol the way of Sentinels. Right here. Texture, he will get a Stinger purchased for him from one of his teammates and a light armor invested. Might be the only saving grace.
There is threat here. It's not all safe. Munchkin will fall.
I cannot use that.
But again, it's Texture who can bite back.
Oh, good damage done on the 10s and Saucy. Texture might find the timing here, just like he did on Pistol, but Zekin, he's so ready for it.
And if he continues to be able to get the best of Texture throughout the entire map, that's a really good sign again, but if it's not Texture, it's Meteor. If it's not Meteor, it's Munchkin. It's gonna have to be Karon this time. Saucy looking for the target. Karon's gonna find him. Zelsis is on this late flank. And as time continues to tick, you've got to have a decent understanding where he might be coming from. The one problem, though, is Karon is 10 HP. He's so weak, Dre.
But all he needs is one headshot. One dink of the Sheriff at the right range. Cannot be too far.
He's going to flip the map?
I mean, he's got so much time. Taking the scenic route.
There's not going to be anything to give this away.
Oh, at the perfect range as well, yeah. He got right out of dodge, but now I think Zelsis, he smells something as amok.
Well, the problem is he could be freezing back A main right now. There's no way to know where he's headed.
Yeah, the spike will inevitably be planted.
And now, Zelsis will understand.
Spike planted.
That Karon's out. He's planted towards B, and now the gunfight begins. All of these minor pieces, all of these minor movements end here. Karon taking a step back. As Zelsis continues to push forward. He has a turret, he has an alarm bot. but no real way to utilize either of those.
He's got so much to clear as well.
And I think part of the problem is Karen has no idea where senvsgen is coming from either. So it's a guessing game for both, the 50-50. Karen's on the swing, can't hit the shot to 10 HP. Was what gives it away at the end.
Talk about a saving grace. senvsgen winning that 1v1. Meteor went nuclear on site, getting 3 kills with that Sheriff, making it extremely costly from the side of Sentinels. These shots were disgusting. Oh, what a flick. And how does he get this one? Okay.
Getting shot too. This was big from senvsgen.
Doesn't matter how we did it, it's that we did it, baby!
And the truth is, nobody remembers how things play out at the end, right? I mean, to a degree, he's absolutely right. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as it works.
Absolutely. Now Genji with a clear gun advantage. Going into this round, it's another A default. A nice tag from Zeken. Gets a little too greedy, gets taken out by Lakia.
Yeah, swings in way too many. So that weapon will sit up in heaven.
Out of charges.
Genji with no real intentions of the rest of the map. They're all here towards A. Tench trying to get back and stay alive as Lakia is pushed so far already.
He's in a deep mix of things right now. Oh, Hunter's Fury invested.
But there are only Sheriffs left. I don't know that it's going to be enough.
There's a lot of players low right now.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
And it's light armor on John and Saucy.
Can they settle this? Genji are playing so far up here. Munchkin has a knife too.
That's our tags. Oh, can't connect.
Texture, 49 HP. As the wall goes down, John QT segmented off. Texture again found success from this very position. Saucy on the reposition. They've gotten it down to 1. Texture's weak. Can he find it? Down to a 1v1. 7 bullets left. Saucy with a Sheriff. He gets up top and Saucy drops him. The 3K is Sentinels win the bonus. What was that?
Another big round from him. I was wondering why he was investing the Hunter's Fury with such a disadvantage, but they're so confident. At a level like this, it's those crazy plays that make the difference. Unexpected things that happen. And phenomenal execution. What great awareness.
Bro, I missed the easy one and I hit the hardest one.
Saucy showing up in a way that we haven't seen in a really long time to deliver the MasterCard Thrifty to get Sentinels to 3. Genji on this weird hobbled buy now. They've got a Vandal, a Guardian, light armor. But Sentinels did just show us it doesn't really matter the size of the gun in the fight. Second so far up, but he's been caught, he's been had, he's been found. A life donated here.
Very risky play from Zeken there with no real support. Johnny didn't have an angle.
No, he had no way to help him.
Yeah. And that's kind of uncharacteristic from Sentinels with the way they played the last map. They didn't really go for risks like that on the defensive side when they knew they had a clear advantage. So maybe a little bit too overconfident, a little too overeager, but a lot of info gathered from TenZ.
Yeah, that little pixel angle, calling the rotate back A. senvsgen will have a lot on his hands. And that knife tagging means the utility's not going to be a part of the equation for a little bit. But in and out behind the wall, finding lethality and getting away.
Bomb grenade out.
Even numbers it is.
Yeah, they've still gotten out towards the site. Spike should be able to go down. I don't know if there's anything that Sentinels have to deny this. And now the lockdown early.
Yeah, this is going to create chaos for senvsgen, but he's still going for it.
Seems like he's just going to try to get a parting gift. Even if he gets detained, he's got help. The problem is, what he doesn't have a ton of his time. Meteor's down. Crispy shot out from TenZ, and now the rest of the defense starting to creep their way forward. The flash over the wall. Genji giving so much respect and giving so much space here. Again, all of the post-plant utility gone. 2 Vandals in the hands of Genji. Lakia 1 away from having Thrash online. They're waiting for the swing, and there it is. Lakia down. senvsgen will get it to half. Munchkin's by himself. Can he stop it? No. Sen City get to 4.
These retakes from Sentinels are so good on A site so far. Complete control and patience in the approach. And then they're fighting together. I mean, it was a firing squad that everybody in that post plant had to deal with. Munchkin, had he taken a little bit more of a step out, that spray would have connected, but it just wasn't quite there. And Zelsis, what a big impact kill. A lone warrior on site, dipping out, making it even numbers after a great entry from Texture.
Thrash popped at the beginning of the round, clearing out a little bit of that belong space. And then the knife, too, confirming where Zekken is. It's actually a really nice combo of utility.
Yeah, just no follow-up from the side of Genji, so Zekken can hold his ground, keep all this info.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted that. I think they wanted to find where Zekken was and then hit the other side of the map. The problem is that may be part of Sentinel's plan. They've got so much more utility out towards A, but it's all been cleared. It's all been recalled back.
Oh.
Texture finding high ground, but not finding a kill. And so they've gotten out onto A. They should be able to get the spike down. I thought it might go over to Karam because he was one away from the pit, but it's Munchkin who sinks the spike into the soil of the site. Knife out. Understanding there is a little bit of presence. Zelsis further up, but the rest of Sentinel's not far off behind him. Again, these post plants that you mentioned, they've been so effective for Sentinels, but they're at a numbers disadvantage here. Can they convert again?
Oh my goodness.
That's such an aggressive lockdown. They've got to fight it. I don't think they can hold this back. JunQT has already gotten it to half. Tens pushing forward. Just the threat. Just the distraction. Getting the kill too. Lockie and Karen left alone. And it's another round the way of Sentinels.
The retakes of Sentinels. Need I say more? It's too good. That's 5 diffuses, 5 spikes being planted for Genji, and no conversion. And they're trying to swing together, but that aggressive lockdown, it created too much chaos. It creates a disconnect.
Bro, my brain is completely off right now. Peak.
That's him with brain off. I mean, I guess
he doesn't really need it on when he's just playing aim labs.
Yeah, when he's
holding the diffuser.
Swinging out 410 like that, trying to take the fight into A main, sure.
And it's slipping away right now for Genji. Nightmares, flashbacks.
Yeah, but I still think, I'm very curious to see what things look like on the other side of this timeout for Genji. Because you think about how effective they've been on the other side of timeouts throughout really the entire year. I mean, this is not an area that they're unfamiliar with as far as trying to implement a plan and as far as trying to change the tides in positions like this. I think the one problem is this might be the most important timeout Genji will call all year. This might be the most important timeout of the year for them.
It is. And on the last map, that timeout brought them back into things. It got them back in the mix, gave them a chance, brought it to 13-9. They need to convert around. They're doing a great job of getting the spike planted, but it's the post plants that have been faltered. A disconnect sometimes, you know, Meteor playing too far up, Ten's getting a free pick on him. Then the numbers advantage sways the way of Sentinels. Maybe they all need to fight back sight together as a unit and be cohesive in the post plant.
Again, heavy presence towards A. Karen has his ult. Munchkin 2 away from his.
Another A hit. They understand that they've been getting the spike planted, like I said.
Yeah.
But this time, a change of pace, though. It's a flood. Oh my gosh, they're not ready for it, Doug.
Ten's ahead of the play. He really might be brain off, but it seems to be working. I mean, they just continue to crumble. It's just Texture and Munchkin left. You were just talking about how this has been successful for them. If you think about the equation for Genji, this part has been fine. They've been able to get into post plant positions, but they lose the post plants. This time, all of the resistance was met ahead of that.
It's not over yet, though. The wraparound from Texture, he's got 3 to the round.
He's going to have to win a B2, though. The ever-elusive Ace will have to deliver here if he wants to get Genji on the board. He's getting it down to 1, and there it is! An Ace at the best possible time! Genji are on the board.
And he's the guy you want stepping up in moments like this. the runner, the forefront. He's been getting entries all map long. But an ace from your star duelist, that can be what turns the tide. All of a sudden, the team has energy and life in them. But can you string more rounds together? Because you absolutely have to.
This time a bit of a different look for as much as they've been slamming their heads into the wall of A. A little bit more noise B here. And look at this lineup from Zekken. Far up, inserted, with op in hand.
An adaptation made. He was opping B the last 3 rounds. This time he wants in the mix. He wants in the action. He wants to take out Texture, who just got that ace. But he's going to have to deal with a lot here, and it looks like genvssen have a...
He's had a hot hand, but he's going to get flashed off of this first line, holding the next, almost landing the shot. Saucy understanding Texture so far up already. As Zekken switches to the classic, tries to get away, and Texture hunts him down! 2 kills found! Tenzo trying to punch back, grabs the op. Can he wield it the same way?
This one's just too hard, Doug. Surely, with the Viper's Pit invested, one player tries to save the operator, but they have a lot of time to work with. Maybe Spam can get you a pick.
And they've got money.
Oh, a little bit of a chip damage right there.
Make a play. Traded right back though. Tens falls off. Once again hits the ground. Surely they just scoop that thing up and get away. genvssen will get their second. And again, it wasn't an ace, but it was Texture setting the pace.
He's so explosive in these moments.
And in a lot of ways, Dre, this feels really reminiscent to what we saw in Lotus. Was the score not 5-1 before things turned?
Yeah, after a timeout.
We're following the same forecast. This is where genvssen really put things together. And it seems like they're doing it again.
I mean, he dashed onto Zekken after Zekken whiffed that off shot. He just ran him down. And then this time around, the Viper's Pit made it easy to isolate fights. Saw Zellsis dropping there. Texture has his second round of jet knives.
11-5 from the star.
What a performance.
But the job's not finished.
Another AD fall.
But this time with a little bit of mid presence. We haven't seen them do this.
Yeah, but it will be matched by a turret.
Remember, they've been throwing the Smolly over the top 2 to clear it. I'm surprised they didn't try that here. It doesn't matter. Zellsis is dead.
Yeah, everyone was isolated. There's 3 members of Sentinels towards B. This is a perfect call from genvssen.
Yeah, you got to be careful here, though. These gunfights are hard to win. A little bit of damage was dealt, yes. But you still have some mid-presence, and Meteor beautifully escapes. He tries to get away. JeonQT has to clear this. And there was no safe space. That's a gorgeous call from genvssen.
That was unreal. What a beautiful, beautiful set play. The walk through mid.
They have to save again.
Yeah. Momentum now the way of genvssen. At what point do Sentinels call their own timeout?
It's got to be soon.
Oh my goodness.
Spike will go off. genvssen will get to 3. And again, I think it's a lot of the dynamic rounds that we've seen from the attack on the other side of Texture's ace have been splendid.
Yep. And now if you're Sentinels, you're worried about mid for the rest of the game. Is another split going to happen when they're doing their A default in the beginning? It opens up the map for the attacking side. You're able to be rent-free in the mind of Sentinels.
Yeah, and I realize now as Sentinels will call a timeout, give us a moment to discuss things. I was questioning in the moment. They've been dropping that molly to clear out the turret. You clear out that turret, and then the surprise is given away, right? Like, they tucked in the smoke. That was such a beautiful call.
Very high IQ play. So you're 100% right. If that turret gets broken early on,
somebody has
Sentinels has to pick it up.
Exactly.
You shift over a player at B. Them not breaking that turret at the timing they did as that A hit is coming through. There's still 3 players towards B. I mean, that's a wonderful call from Munchkin. He may be sitting at 1 kill, but his calling right now is phenomenal. And what a comeback into this half off the ace of Texture.
very similar to what we saw in Lotus. 2 rounds now between these two Titans.
It's kind of insane, like Sentinels, with the way that they won all of those rounds in the retake scenarios and whatnot. Their economy has lasted 4 rounds. It's the 4th round, they still have money. But right here, it will be broken if Genji can win this round. Finally put Sen on an eco, perhaps. Such an uphill battle that Genji had to climb. And they're just 1 step away.
It seems like they've crested the mountain, or close to it. Almost at the summit. Look at the respect mid.
Yeah.
Look at Sasi's positioning. You're absolutely right.
Rent-free. Absolutely rent-free.
Zekken holding beeline with the op. Genji a much slower approach to this round.
Yeah. And this is Munchkin's highlight of IGLing, his changes of pace. I mean, the pace in the first 5 rounds, it was A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit. Now a very, very slow approach. But there's 4 members of Sen here, and that Viper's Pit is invested as well. You kind of have to flip sight in this moment.
They're not committing to this.
Oh,
they are now.
Right here.
That's going to flush out the pit. Or at least attempt to. Meanwhile, that dart tagging a couple of people. A really good idea of what's waiting on the other side. 30 seconds left. The spike's still not down. They realize that, I mean, the vast majority of the defenses are here. If they decide that they're going to go up any bit further, it's going to be with a fight. Texture still alive. And still fragging. He's so far back. You're absolutely right. Laki is tucked. Just waiting on the other side of the pit, waiting for his moment to strike.
What is that?
John finds him. That was the trap the entire time. They still have this pit up. They're still going to have to find a way around it. Zels is falling. Zekken 2. Can John 1v3? I don't know if there's enough time for this anyway. The tap, the spam, the 4th round for Genji.
That is an unbelievable round to win for Genji. Sentinels did so many things to make it hard on Genji to win that round.
Borderline impossible.
They pre-fired the Viper's Pit. Everything was leading the way of Sentinels, delaying that spike being planted. But Lakia, he may be sitting at 1 kill, but sneaking through there, getting the spike planted with Wingman was everything. Taking all that space back sight. It gives his team the information that John's not playing in the Viper's Pit. No one was there. And it's such a risky play, but you gotta make those in times like this. And look, it's been A, so many rounds from Genji. Now they throw a B hit in.
The dart from the defense already clearing out back A. They've got a lot of space too. The alarm bot's gonna give the position away. They've got to understand that the timing window to hit B is now. Texture's already dashed back sight. Karon not far off.
Finished.
What?
And it traded 1 for 1. The fadeaway Molly finding value for Zelsis. But Laki is still there.
Yeah, and so much space gathered as well on this A site.
I mean, they were just so decisive on the hit. But Texture down, Lakia swinging backside, only finding 1. But a valuable one at that. It's now a 2v2. Tens and Sasi. Sasi, who was heroic in these first couple of rounds, but has since gone quiet. Looking to deliver again against Munchkin and Meteor.
He's in such a good spot right now. He might get double swung though.
There's no way anybody clears this, not in a position like that. Beautiful positioning for Meteor. Sasi tapping, down to 1, 6 bullets left. Munchkin's Molly's gonna buy some time, and that might be all he needs. As the clock continues to tick away, the spike continues to go off. It will expire as Genji has tied us up at 5. Unreal.
What was it that Zelsis said? Doesn't matter how you win, we won it. And their economy is flourishing, so they're chilling with that win. What a great timing to go B though. Identifying that Sentinels have a bad economy, they finally broke it. They finally reached that summit, like you said. And they take fights, these long-range fights towards B. They didn't expect the likes of the Vandal of Zekken in the beginning, and it being picked up from Tens as well. But it makes a lot of sense, this approach from Genji.
Sentinels have bought into this again. Light armor and 5 rifles. The Thrash clears so much space.
They're able to pick that one up as well.
Yeah, but the defense is starting to attempt to bolster this site. No targets found. The spit out first. Texture being down is a big one. Saucy also striking. And they've thrown Genji into disarray. The 3 remaining members have to take a step back towards long. 10's on the swing. And it's a threat. It's a tap. It's a bait. They've got to do something to try to dissuade and try to distract some of what Sentinels are trying to do here. But they've been pushed so far back. Genji cannot find an opening. They cannot find a way in. Sentinels punch back.
The B retake is something we haven't seen yet from Sentinels in this half. And they look damn good at it, just like they did today.
I mean, we sung the praises of the retake so much. I'm not really surprised.
And if you look at the timeline, it's only been retake wins from Sentinels.
Yeah.
Spike diffuses across the board. And it's because they're not giving those long-range fights right away. They're waiting for teammates to group up.
Let's get 7.
Waiting for Genji to fight. And Sentinels, they're wishing for a 7th round here. 2 big ultimates online for them. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury.
To close out the first half of Icebox, Texture popped his blades.
And right now, Genji, all signs leading towards another B default. But Sen aren't buying it. They hear that jet smoke. Second, he's been kind of quiet since last map.
Yeah. They just set Munchkin up to go get the Orb B to have his ult online for this round.
Take flight.
Ults don't matter when you have the KO ultimate available to you.
And Sentinels should know that. That might be a free kill. It's just so tough to land that on a jet. But he finds Lakia. There's still a lot of threat from the attack here, though. They're not out of the woodworks yet. Oh, Meteor swinging into his death. I thought he had the timing on him, but he did not. Munchkin cannot do it on his own. Zeken asks for it. Sentinels get 7.
Not taking the bait, holding their ground at A that entire round, and taking the fight to Genji this time. What a change of pace at the very last round of the half.
But again, the exact same story that we saw on Lotus. It was Sentinels until it was Genji, and then it was 7-5 to take us to halftime. We'll see how Icebox closes out.
Red Bull gives you wings.
난 오늘도 달라지기 위해 자네 밤 매사파야도록 반짝거려 하루살이 같은 것들 위여로 나는 그런 것보단 천천히 오래 걸어 Talk the talk and walk the walk and talk like a king and walk like a boss now 가짜피 똥싸시
2 rounds separating these 2 squads. Elimination on the line. We've talked about the stakes and we're going to talk about them again because this is the year for both of these squads. This is where either you punch a ticket to playoffs, to the big dance where you're in top 8 and you're still in pursuit of the hardware, or you go home empty-handed. And that's a long off-season to think on.
And not only making the playoffs, but probably being a favorite going into playoffs as well. Both these teams champions of their own right this year. Sentinels, Madrid winners, Genji, Shanghai winners.
The only 2 teams to have tasted international glory in 2024.
Poetic.
Sentinels have the lead, but we know Genji They do not go down without a fight.
Doug, Genji desperately need a pistol round win in this series. It might be just what takes them over the edge. And what an entry from Texture.
What a beautiful setup. The flash, the dart, everything was there, and Zellsis is dead.
He's going for more, Doug.
Sentinels deciding that they still want to try to hit this site with Zekken up close. Munchkin getting the best of 10s, but Texture only finding another. They're weak, though. 22 HP on Zekken. Meteor and Karan still remain for Genji. There's a lot of time left in this round. They can slow things down. They can quietly instill all, well, that wasn't quiet, instill all the doubt into the minds of Genji.
And look at how the approach is so similar from both sides. Just group up, play together, push together.
Not even really interested in the orb. They want to find the timing. They want to capitalize on it.
Revealing area.
Attempting to clear out any utility that might have been there, and there is none because Meteor went for Sheriff.
And
no armor.
And that dart will be seen on the minimap from the side of Genji, so now they have a good idea. They're able to get a little bit more ahead. And remember, Zekken sitting low.
Yeah, Sasi's got to be careful here. He's the healthy one. He finds his one. But can the rookie deliver for Genji? Oh, he spotted the cape, betraying him twice.
I think he saw him. I think Sasi also saw him. Zekken turned instantly around.
Karen's having to accelerate here in a 1v2. Again, both targets weak. A stiff breeze will drop him, but that's now 4 pistols in a row. The way of Sentinels.
And last time around, Doug, Sasi was on the Gecko. This time, he's on Sova. He's known for it. And he looks so comfortable. He's 14-7, and his pistol round impact has been impeccable.
Spike down A.
That trade, by the way, of Zekken onto Texture was unbelievable. That was so much impact right there. Zekken was sitting at 1 shot. To connect a headshot in a moment like that when you're doing a 180. Insane.
To go from winning 1 pistol to winning all 4. I mean, what a drastic change. Zekken's gonna get gooped, Texture's gonna get aggressive, but it's a Guardian shoved down his throat. The gun difference here for Sentinel, so nice. There's really no way for Genji to put up a resistance. They don't have the weaponry. They don't have the health. They don't have the personnel.
Spike planted.
Karen's gonna get his one, but again, Zekken closes the round as Sentinels get to 9.
Very decisive anti-eco from Sen. Just full sending it A. It was a great flash from Lakia. But Zekken dropping the smoke on himself. Everybody else, the supporting cast of Sentinels, just spamming away, understanding that there's only one way Zekken dies in that moment. And it's Texture walking into that smoke. It's a pretty healthy buy right now from Sen. They didn't drop any rifles or any Spectres that they bought into the round. And it will be the first full buy for Genji.
Pacey take across the middle of the map. Every single member with crosshairs trained there too. Look at that, a 1-for-1. Zellsis takes a step back. You see the pings on the minimap. He's spotted here. This is a dangerous fight.
4 members taking a fight against Zellsis. That's full information relayed.
Texture so weak. But he somehow stays alive and somehow cleans up 10s before he even hits the ground.
Standing ahead.
But of course, it's Sasi. Who else? He's been so steady. He's been so stalwart. He's been so successful here. And on the international stage again, trying to drag Sentinels across the finish line. Meteor's left in a 1v2, and Sasi gets another. Sentinels get to 10.
Sasi has been lights out this entire map. We keep praising his name.
17-7 is absurd.
And he almost has another Hunter's Fury. He did that all with a Bulldog. Texture, he just couldn't settle those shots on the Zellsis right away. It brought him low enough. But just cold.
Oh, the smirk and the wink. The guy knows what he's doing, man. 3 in a row for Sentinels. Another bonus converted. Genji, remember, they found success in this exact same play, but this time cautious now. 56 HP. He's got a rifle. One of only two that are standing up as Lakia gets aggressive, finds his one. They're dealing a lot of damage here, but as soon as there's a window for Genji, Sentinels slam it.
Planted.
How in the world does Meteor do this? Can he be a spark? Can he be magic? Both targets found, but neither of them claimed. Zekken gets 3 as Sentinels get to 11. And the light slowly starting to fade for Genji.
And Doug, the pace that Sentinels have been putting on Genji in this attack half, it's been so quick. It's like they implemented Genji's own game plan of their attack onto them. But the difference is, Sentinels on their defense played a full retake style. Genji on their defense are trying to fight Sentinels, and it's just not going their way. When center on point, when they're dialed in, they have some of the most cracked aimers in the world.
Different look early on. Sentinels again with a lean towards A. Texture has an op this time, and that's exactly where they're headed. That tag is going to get 2. Munchkin gets his 1, though. Lakia trying to stay alive, has to take a step back as John looks to settle the shots, and it's Meteor who wins it out. Can Texture claw them back into this? It's Zellsis left alone, a 1v3. Lakia's weak, yes, but so is Zellsis. And he's outnumbered here. Meteor gets to 3 as Genji gets 6.
It was a crazy ult from Saucy in the beginning of that round, getting a collat tag.
I thought he was going to get 2 there.
Yeah, right? But the movement, the finesse and backside, Texture finding a window of opportunity. Lakia seeing a barrel, a glimpse of something.
I didn't think it was a barrel. It might have just been the effects of the gun.
Meteor going huge as well in screens.
And I think that's the question now, right? Is who's going to step up for Genji?
Placing swarm grenade.
In that round, it was Meteor. Texture still has the op.
Deploying drone.
And a different look from Sentinels. It's been all A, all day. Drone will get a tag. Saucy is truly in a flow state right now. He pre-fired that. Didn't even see him.
There's a lot of the defense here, including Texture and his op.
Yeah, Texture wants blood. He's hunting for it, but it looks like Sen have something cooked up. A little pop flash play, perhaps.
Will he find a target? He's taken the line. Nothing found yet.
Look at this from Sen.
This freeze is crazy, but the problem is they're on the clock. You can't stay in this state forever.
Look at the mini-map. Just biding their time. It's a free B site right now.
Zekken with a massive shot. The op is down. Lakia and Munchkin with 2 ults. Rotating back B, and there it is, the first popped. Saucy managing to get the spike down, though, as Tens. Backside, plucking one down, trying to turn the flash, succeeds, but dies. Now numbers still the way of Sentinels. With the spike down, John QT looks to get away. A couple of parting shots, his threats as Lakia falls. Munchkin on his own, a 1v3. He's gotten it down to 1. A 1v1, can Munchkin deliver? Perhaps the biggest 1v1 of his career. The tap, there, the swing, but Zellsis walks out on top. Sentinels get to series point. He wasn't kidding. Sentinels said they were out for blood. That's exactly where they're at now.
Just gotta let it sit right now. Texture, too many targets to look at. Getting double swung in that moment. What a freeze, though, from the side of Sen. It made 2 members that were supporting Texture in that moment rotate all the way back into A site. No info was gathered towards B. The spots that Sentinels were hiding at, the operator doesn't get value in that moment. I don't blame Genji for rotating over. It's very common for teams to leave a solo operator posted on that B line, but it's a false sense of security that was their demise. And this might be the last time out that Genji will take at Champs 2024, Doug. Economy not looking too hot from the side of Genji. And the ultimate economy is off the charts right now for Sentinels. You guys will all see it when this timeout ends.
I mean, what do you say to your team in a moment like this? If you're Genji, what do you say if you're solo here?
You gotta pray.
All you can do is band together. It's exactly what you just saw the coaching staff do on the screen. There's the ults that you were just talking about. 4 of 5 the way of Sentinels. They've got everything they could possibly want. Remember, on Lotus, they got to the 1 yard line, and then Genji put together a ferocious comeback, but it wasn't enough. Can they do it again? And can they close out the map here?
Sentinels are wise to something.
Yeah, the dizzy going up. They know.
And you can't recover that either, Doug.
Exactly, that's not a dizzy. They're going to be able to scoop back up.
Sentinels understood that they're at match point right now. It's elimination for Genji. Players get desperate at a time like this. They want to force things, make things happen. That's why you see a red wall across the board. Nobody has really pushed past the barrier.
That desperation can be a fine line, though.
I mean, look at the mini-map. From the start of the game, it was 3 players towards A, a shift towards mid now. There was a dagger used.
Texture's going to be called upon to deliver. The hour has struck. Can he arrive? No! Saucy overwhelms him. With the rest of Sentinels behind him, they push forward, looking to take A. Can Karen hold the line? The flash in his face. He will crumble too. Now just 1 rifle up for Genji. Hopes and dreams of a year. Potentially falling short right now. Yes, they raised the trophy in Shanghai. But it would have been so much sweeter to do so in front of a home crowd. But now, Lockie and Munchkin doing their best to keep this thing up, to keep it competitive. They're gonna have to navigate the pit. Every single member crumbling. Tonight, Soul burns red. Sentinels survive.
It feels like Sen always take the hard route, Doug. And this one was really, really tough. What a fight from Genji. But it was Sen besting Genji on the maps that they bested them in the final the last time around. Closing it out on Icebox.
Heartbreak for Genji. The weight of the year. The expectations, the hopes, the aspirations. Coming up short. And so Genji bow for the last time in 2024. Bested by Sentinels. Again, the only 2 teams that have tasted international glory this year. But it's Sentinels who come out on top. Nothing but love between the 2 players, between the 2 squads, as you can see on your screens.
A lot of respect.
Oh, a ton. From the coaching staff to the players, from top to bottom. Well, you can always count on Zelsis Tad. Let me give you a moment. What a performance, man.
It was ridiculous. We said it in the last match against FPX. Once this team gets momentum, they're full steam forward, full train ahead. They're an unbelievably rehearsed squad.
Well, and the thing is, I think for Sentinels, as you think about stage 2 and you think about playoffs, for most of stage 2, we thought, okay, Sentinels are peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
They're going to head into champs, and they're going to head into champs strong, confident. They have a chance to make a run, but they hit a couple of stumbling blocks along the way, and we thought, okay, what team is showing up in Seoul? Is it going to be the stage 2 team, or is it going to be the playoffs team that struggled, that stumbled, that in a lot of ways failed to meet the expectations? But this is the Sentinels from Madrid. This is the Sentinels from stage 2.
And it's all going back to comfortability, going back to their old composition, playing what they know, the tried and true. They look phenomenal in these moments. That was such a big moment from Texture. That ace, it almost brought them all back. Definitely brought back the half.
But it just wasn't enough.
No.
They got pushed. The score does not tell the whole story, man.
And it's just tough as well for Genji, not winning a single pistol round. That first map truly came down to that. A 13-9.
You don't win against the best in the world when you struggle on pistols that much. Sentinels saw that the first time they played. They made the adjustments that they needed, and you mentioned it was the difference maker on the first, and that closes out the series for them. We're going to throw it down to Zekken, who's standing by on the stage for the Verizon post-match